Hello and welcome to our or Tuesday night live stream. I am David, your host from American Football, and I am excited that you guys are here. We are going to have a very cool live stream tonight. I hope. Tonight's live stream is going to be focusing on resources that someone may want if they want to live in another country, the Philippines particularly, but any other country. And also, if you're interested in Filipinas and dating outside of the United States. So, we're going to kind of talk about resources and tools that will help you. And it's going to be kind of cool and surprising. But before we get to that point, it is Tuesday. It is 5:30 p.m. It is March the 7th. Currently here in my part of the world, it is 65 degrees, but it actually kind of feels like it's in the 50s. So it's a little cooler here. But make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that alert bell. And if you would, go ahead and tell everybody in the world that we're live and it's going to be an exciting time. So, very interesting. One little piece of news for you guys who know, my new glasses that I ordered will be here tomorrow. So next Tuesday, you'll get to see what glasses I actually chose. And you might be surprised because, they're not the ones that we thought. So, first question is, how is everybody tonight? Yank, Luz, how are you? You guys are welcome to come up. I think I put the link in there. If not, let me drop our little community link thing, or whatever you call it. Did I put it in there, Mr. Yank, apparently? Joe's in the house. Joe, we appreciate you being here as always. Mr. Yank, how are we tonight?
What's happening? We're getting ready for 4 to 8 inches of snow Friday.
Hallelujah for you, not me.
Yeah. And I put my cars outside.
Let's get saying hi to some people. Luz, hello. Oz's house. Ozza is here. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. We hope you're doing well. It's going to be an exciting stream. What's that?
Said hi to Timmy.
Okay, everybody say hi to each other. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share each other. Timmy's in the house. J3 is here, of course. There's Timmy. Timmy, we appreciate you. Yep, more Timmy. Everybody saying hi to Timmy. We have Tim, the young man from the Philippines in the house.
Hello, Tim.
Add Kiko up here. Joe is saying hi. Everybody make sure to say hi. It's great.
Rico's here.
Yeah, he's here. How are you, sir?
Sir.
Well,
I work for a living. No, I did. Not anymore.
David looked healthy in that avatar.
Yeah, the big L.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to be polite until I know, and then it's going, no.
David, did you check your mailbox today?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, should I? Okay, I'll go check it tomorrow or tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Remember, I have one of those things way over there that I got to drive to go check my mail.
Oh.
So yeah. I don't get there every day.
Yeah, me too. Well, check's in the mail.
So. Okay, I will, and I'll get this turned around to you. I'll ship this to you just tomorrow. Okay.
Great.
So, hi, Faisal.
It won't take more than a day or so, probably, to get there. 2 or 3 days, I guess. So. Oh my goodness! So yeah, I got new glasses coming. You'll see them soon. We finally landed on some.
I'm gonna wait till I get back over there before I get another pair.
You should.
That helps. It saves me about $200 because I have an expensive prescription.
In the Philippines, we went to do that, and remember, we got hustled, so we didn't get glasses there. But they would have been $230, and the ones and they're not the same, I agree, but the ones I'm picking up tomorrow are like 600.
I I already had an existing frame, so
Yeah. So Faiza is greetings from Indonesia, as we remember. Tim, how are things going? Are you feeling good? I know you were seeing some doctors, so we hope you're feeling good.
hey Joe, good
Joe,
God,
man, let me just put this part because we are going to get into resources. But here's what, because there's so much drama currently going on in our little YouTube world or the Philippine world, whatever you want to call it.
there is.
Oh, there's shitloads of it, and and it's all about, bad, guys behaving badly towards women.
Well,
I'm not going to name any names. I don't really care. All I encourage everybody to do is to be good to each other. Be respectful to yourself, or because when you do harm to somebody else, you're really just showing what a jerkwad you are.
hmm
So just be a good people. John's in the house. John is here. Good to see you, my friend.
John,
Hi, John.
Um, John is watching from the store. He's at the store. Tim says last time I got glasses, it cost $3,000. I think in pesos.
I
thousand
hope so.
pesos.
That's nice.
Well,
Well, the problem we had in the
well,
Philippines was they were one price for the Filipinos,
nah,
another price because I was not Filipino.
well,
And the doctor, the eye doctor, it wasn't the workers. The worker rang it up to where I had the same price, the sell price as everybody
when,
else. But the
when I,
doctor told her absolutely not. He's not Filipino. He does, and she said this in front of Lorelai.
uh,
He does not
oh,
get the same price. So Lorelai told her to take her glasses and
I'll have to ask. Now, I'm pretty sure I got my regular one, but I had to have an exam when I got home. I forget for what, for why, but my doctor told me that they cheated me on my bifocal part. That the wrong prescription was on the right side lens. So I'm gonna bring it up to him when I get back there.
yeah, Timmy says she was gone for a couple weeks, came back. There's a lot of drama. There is. I don't
What? What are you talking about? I don't.
listen up. The drama is real simple. There's a YouTuber, a male, who's behaved badly, I guess, towards Filipinos. And we're not going to get into all of the.
Well, why not? I mean, who is it?
And so we're not going to do that. But what I'm telling everybody is because if you pay attention, Timmy, probably knows, and I know Joe knows, and all of that is if you don't like somebody on YouTube,
Mm.
if you don't like what they do, turn their channels off and unsubscribe. Don't give them attention. So book up channel. Good to see you. Thank you. She's here from Auntie Grace. Auntie
I
Grace.
don't. The ones that I don't care for, I don't talk to, so they're out of mind.
Right. But there's people that want to just keep beating this issue, and maybe it's valid, maybe it's not. I don't know. But
No,
my
that's it. No,
you should
you,
try.
you can't. You can't stop somebody from being like that. They're old enough. So if it's somebody I talk to, then I won't be talking to them no more.
Well, part of it is this. Men behave badly, and
No, some men.
some men behave badly. Correct. Only, and I don't think a lot. I think a few.
Yeah.
And
But give me a
apparently, the person's
chance.
taking
Give me.
advantage of not very smart Filipinos. He could promise things that he can't deliver in orders to sleep with them. That's
No, really. Oh my gosh.
what needs to happen. And this is what I'm telling everybody. In the community, you need to teach the young Filipinas that, I can't get them a visa. I can't immigrate them to the United States. The only way you can come to the United States as a nurse is getting married. That's it. So we just need to calm down and make everything good. So, but I want to encourage. What's Tim saying? Oh, that man is just 2 weeks. That lasts for a few months already. Happened right, and that's something I was telling Joe earlier. This is old news. Let it die. I don't know why people are my advice to everybody, it's okay. The sun's going to come out tomorrow and life is going to be good. So, all right, let's talk about something that's actually important. So, Buka channel. I am Filipina from Samar Island in the Philippines. Am I saying that right? Samar Island in the Philippines. And I have no clue how to pronounce it. Mabaha. I come close and then I butcher it.
Mabuhay. That's
Mabuhay?
welcome. Hello. It's like aloha in Hawaii.
Okay.
Mabuhay.
That's why I have you here. That's why I have smart people on the channel.
No, Tony's the translator.
Yeah, I'm
But hey, we're glad
He
you're
knows
here.
one sentence that you can't speak on YouTube.
I do know, and I'm very good.
Don't say it.
Oh, come on.
But we're glad you're here, Buka. We really are. Like, subscribe, share, join.
Gusto mo?
Everybody's channel. We appreciate you. I don't know, from New York City. Sorry.
You know what?
He says, "No, sir, Tony. I don't see you around with this circle." That's true. Tony's not involved in the garbage. With this circle, I was subbed to him before, but after we knew what he did to the Filipinas, even before he got to the PA.
You know what? A person like that, he's in the wrong. If he's over there, I presume, in the Philippines.
Yeah, as a tourist.
He's in the wrong place to be
behaving badly.
Because he can go away and nobody will ever know.
Well, and that's my point about things. Why don't you just let the local?
You think you can do whatever you want over there because you're an American. You're wrong.
Tony, it's called a boating accident.
Boating
Shark.
But anyway,
you know what I mean.
But for the wise ones out there, stop any bullshit you're thinking about doing, already doing, because you could disappear very easily.
Yeah, don't be a sexpat. I guess that's where I was going with this. I wouldn't, because we're going to talk about resources, and my encouragement is, if you're going to go be a sexpat, well, then just buy hookers and leave everybody else alone. If that's what you want in life. But here's something exciting. I got questions for everybody.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you betcha. You know how this works.
Okay. Answers are $5. Correct answers are $10.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at YouTube channels. We're going to look at websites that I find to be that I've selected that I think are very, very helpful if you want to learn about being an expat or traveling to the Philippines or marrying a Filipina. So, but my question for all of you guys is, give me some suggestions of YouTube channels that you think are very helpful, informative to somebody who would be new to our community who's curious.
Well, that'd be the Philippine. I know a couple of Thai vloggers. I don't know if they count or just the Philippine guys.
So I have a list. You guys want to see my list then?
I guess.
Well, I was hoping. Well, so you're saying Thai channel? Do you remember their names or anything?
Oh, the Thai, yeah. Foreigner Joe, he calls them now. It's Girl Gift and Foreigner Joe, and there's a Canadian guy in there, retired and working for you. They're very entertaining. And then there's another Thai one, Ride for Kicks, something like that. This dude sounds like he had a radio voice. He must have been in radio. But those are very entertaining channels.
Chico, you got any channels you follow that you think are good for this concept?
No, I did mine 21 years ago, so that was pre-YouTube days, pretty much. I wish I would have had some resources back then, but There's a guy. He's I like to say maybe a Lolo, older Filipino guy. And he had a lot of good stuff on as far
Grandpa
as
vlogger?
immigration. Huh?
Yeah. The grandpa vlogger?
Maybe. Yeah, he was
I'm
an
so,
older Filipino gentleman,
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
subbed to him.
our age or older maybe.
He's older than
But
us.
he seemed to have some pretty good information
Yeah, he's
for.
nice personality
Yeah,
too.
right. Yeah, very good speaker.
Yeah,
I
I
get
forget
that all about
forget
him.
his
Well,
name.
Bud Brown too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
I really don't like is uh, the way some guys make it sound like the Philippines is a grocery store for women that you can get whatever you want. You know, uh, sounds kind of
Yeah, the
demeaning. Some
salad bar of life, right?
yeah, it. Uh, I don't. I just you are who you are and you get what you get, man. I mean, I don't like. What and I've seen one guy that all he talks about is the bad or the way they are, and he's married to one, and he doesn't talk about any of the positive stuff. Only how that could be anywhere in the world you get taken, but uh, I don't enjoy that, and I don't partake in this guy's you know
Yes, I agree.
canon.
Guys, I forgot about the grandpa vlogger, to be honest, but he's one of the smartest vloggers out there, to be honest.
You flogged him.
Yeah, John, he's a,
Yeah,
Is that what his name? You think it's like the grandpa?
and I'm going to show you.
gotta
Okay.
be, man.
Yeah, I might recognize it.
That's
He's
what we're doing.
yeah, that's the dude. Yeah,
This
he
is what
lives here in America, I believe.
we're studying, we're
I
learning.
think
So for all of
there
you guys,
there
one
there
of
aren't enough. There's not enough like him though, that I'm aware of.
so this channel is an excellent channel, excellent resource channel that
Yeah,
I
it
use
is. It is.
all about this.
But
It
people need
is.
to understand, like Tony, you've seen. I mean, the regulations could change from day to day, and they could change from region to region. You know,
That's correct.
so whatever you get today, don't take just take it with a grain of salt because
Yeah.
the rule might not be the same by the time you get there
You know
or
what?
experience it.
I had my wife send me a message yesterday. Now I watched these two Filipino vlog. One now, forget about this other one, but they always have travel updates and all that. And they said that you can show your ticket on your phone and screenshot this and that. And my wife's telling me that I have to actually have my itinerary on paper, and they won't accept it on the phone. So
But
I don't know if
look,
that's just somebody talking that doesn't know what they're talking about or what.
Yep.
here's my rule of thumb. You always, when you travel, especially internationally, you have hard copies.
Oh, always. That's me, man.
Right, that's my experience. They require
You know,
paperwork for everything.
you know, I'm not. I don't have to take a COVID test because I have my vaccination card. But I just feel like going to Walgreens and getting that the what do you call it one? I forgot what they call them now.
Joe,
Uh,
I think Grandpa actually lives in Pennsylvania.
yeah,
I think
I'm
he's
not sure.
Pennsylvania, and I think he's up northeast.
What are those two shots?
I'm gonna count it now.
Oh, antigen. Antigen.
John is, he's at Costco. Hey, John, would you get me something from Costco's and I'll pay you for it?
What did I have? Anything good, John?
It's like
What's
sandwich.
that?
Yeah. Tim, did I miss anything? I have a low battery. Tim, you missed everything.
Oh,
Man, we just gave everybody in the chat $10 million.
That's
I,
I think Tony's battery's pretty low too.
I feel like getting that antigen test just for the sake of having it,
Don't forget the blue. So, all right. So, going back to YouTube channels that are great resources. Now, just because I'm me, I have to put me up there.
Yeah.
So, I know.
Oh, man.
But here's my list of channels. I've chosen me,
Jennifer Terry.
Bud Brown,
Yeah, that's what I got.
Nation Philippines. I don't know if you
I
guys
got him too. Yeah, Rod. That's Rod.
Chris in Cebu,
Yeah, where's he been?
in Cebu.
No,
And
no, I don't see him on anymore.
I don't know either. But Philly in the Philippines,
Yeah, I've seen him.
the Philippine Channel, and Filipina P, because I wanted to add some Filipina channels. So I think the Filipina P is a decent channel. A Nomad Overseas has a lot of really good information. And then, of course, I think Jennifer Terry, which is a Filipina, does
Yeah.
very well at providing good
Yeah,
information.
I watch her all the time.
Besides you, the only ones I recognize are Bud Brown,
I
Philly in the Philippines. So
I watched. There used to be another one, but she would her information would be all over the place and very confusing, especially back when it was changing every single day. But Jennifer's is always solid. But that's the one that my wife said that I have to have a. They won't accept looking at it on the phone, when in fact in her video she says they do. So
Well, I thought about putting Ned with Philippine Dreams in there,
he was all right.
but I didn't because with his kids being so busy, he's really not making informational videos. And the ones that he has are pretty old. You know,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
they're out of date. He's a great YouTuber, but his
yeah.
information is a little lacking.
That's that's true. He when I first started watching um, YouTube stuff, I watched him, I watched Bud, and I watched that Enrique guy,
Yeah,
and then Chris.
yeah. And I
Um,
chose not to put Enrique in here for I think obvious reasons.
well, he he does his own little thing, but that's more or less for a nerd that's never dated a woman or.
Yeah.
No. I mean, there's one thing that any of these channels can teach is common sense. So if you don't if you have it, you'll be fine. If you don't, you get what you get.
Tim is saying that Chris in Cebu has a job now. It's like, so he isn't online.
I miss that dude. I like watching his little from the perch. You
Tim
know,
is he still in Cebu then? Is he still? I mean, does he have a job in Cebu?
he's got to be a call center.
you say a foreigner that has a job?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
yeah, he's an American.
Matter of fact, he had a video on where he lost his job and then his wife she lost her job like I don't know a few days or a week later,
So
and he had this collection of electric guitars that was worth some bucks, and
Hmm.
the place where he had it stored confiscated that box and sold all this stuff.
Yeah.
so I have a question.
Go
What
ahead.
kind of visa do you have to be on to be able to work there?
Well,
What number is that?
I don't know. Let's see. Work visa for the Philippines.
And there's a little. It's pretty involved too. I think.
Yeah, it's not easy to get one because I know when I did the research on this, you had to prove in the Philippines that you could do you there wasn't another Filipino that could do the job.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I heard that. I remember that they changed Duterte changed that or brought that up. The
Let's
change to be.
pull it up here.
Yeah,
Well, that
used to,
pretty much eliminates everybody, right?
I used to like watching Chris. He had his little group of guys there. He was a good guy to talk to. I hope he's okay. Hope he didn't have
Yeah,
any health issues.
yeah, I'm looking to see what it's called.
So Tony, he wasn't old enough to be like a pensioner. Are you saying?
No, well, no, he was a little younger than us.
Yeah, he's like 35 or 40.
No,
Oh
no,
wow.
he's more than 35.
You
I
think?
think I think he's in his 40s.
Wow,
Yeah,
I always thought he was
His
He was young.
his daughter's got to be pretty close to 20 now, something like that, 18, 20.
Yeah,
But
briefly it says, let's see here, that you have to, it doesn't really have a number like a 13A, it doesn't seem.
it
Okay,
might be
here's some numbers, categories. You can refer to the following work visas for more information. A 9G, which is a pre-arrangement employment commercial visa. A 9G, pre-arrangement employment non-commercial. So I guess they're 9Gs. There's also like a 47A2. So it looks like there's a couple of different.
Sure. He probably got a call center job.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Porta Lola 45. Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for shouting us out. Subscribe.
Well, for Chris to fire back at somebody, it must have been a pretty nasty comment, though.
You fire back? What do you mean fire back?
Well, if he just
Everybody say hi to Porta Lola 45 if you would, please.
he had commented once and he attacked him.
Messenger. Okay, Joe, give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm running behind because I was doing research for these gentlemen on the panel. So
You were, huh?
I work for you, man.
Whitey, yeah.
I have to have a work visa. I can work because I have it. Okay. So I think Tim is saying I can work because I have the SSRV. I didn't know that. So if you have the retirement military thing, you can work there. I didn't know that.
I don't know, man. Chris, when the heck did Chris over there in Cebu get here? He's been man. He must have been there. I don't even know. Maybe 5, 6 years, or
Well, he's been there quite a while. I mean, maybe 10 years.
yeah. Well, that's possible. Sure. Anyway, when I first saw the guy, before I actually saw, because I was all over, it reminded me of a pitch man from like Billy Mays Hayes or something, selling something.
Yeah.
He throw his arm, his hand, move his hands around like a pitch man, advertising. But I like him.
Porta Lola 45 says, I used to watch Chris. I commented once and he attacked me. Pretty crappy.
Bad comment.
So that's not very nice of him. Joe wanted to make sure that everybody knew about Tom and Ruth's Adventure. It's a pretty good channel too, especially about living day to day in the Philippines. It's a pretty good channel about that. So anybody else have suggestions for channels that you guys like or find interesting? It's a good time to, you can shout out your own channel if you want. I don't know. But we have a visitor. Everybody say hi to the visitor.
That's it. Bye bye.
Bye, bye, visitor. So, but because I think one of the first things people do when they want to learn about the Philippines or any country, Thailand, I don't know, even Chicago, you start Googling and looking at YouTube for things that will help, right? Hold on. I think I messed something up. Hold on, guys. All right. Can everybody hear me? Am I okay?
What's up?
All right. So you can hear me still. All right.
Just got back.
I thought I messed things up because I'm trying to do a couple things at once. You know how that is. All right. But anyway, YouTube channels is a great resource. And Tim, you got a good point. Tim's channel is really good if you want to learn about the day-to-day living in the Philippines. And Tim, didn't you guys build a house or something? If I remember right, or we're going through that process, if I remember right. Thanks, Joe. The one thing I'm going to say about all of our YouTube channels, mine included, you can't believe every word of it. you have to watch the videos and listen, and then watch others and listen. Unless somebody's showing you, because this is one thing I try to do. I try really hard to show you what the government says. Not my opinion,
Foreigner's
but
perspective.
you know what I mean? But what the government says the rules are that I'm looking at. That way you don't, and hopefully it helps you not to misinterpret or misunderstand. Like you were just saying earlier, Yank, about your ticket, whether you got to have a hard copy or it's okay on your phone, because you're going to get conflicting stories about every issue.
Oh, sure.
You never built a house? Tim never built a house. Okay. It wasn't Tim, was it? It was
So it's
a guy named Rick. He wore sunglasses. He had really cool sunglasses. He wasn't a super YouTuber, but that's what it was. But you guys kind of look alike a tiny bit. That's what that is. So,
I'm going to get going on that when I get there.
the house with the sunglasses.
Yep, the house.
So, Yank, since you're in the panel, what resources did you use? What did you find was helpful for you when you started this process 8-9 years ago
For what?
to go to the Philippines?
Oh, well, I had a friend that was involved in these online romances, and I've always had this curiosity about going, and I just decided to go because I started traveling when I was 50. I got tired of waiting for people, either didn't have the money or the time, and I didn't want to waste any more of my life not doing anything. So I took it upon myself, and I went, and I figured, but I can get along with anybody over there.
So, are you one of the ones that didn't do a lot of research before you went?
No, I didn't have to. For me, I didn't have to.
All right.
I'm pretty, I'm pretty good at figuring stuff out when it comes to strange places. In here in America, we have a lot of different people, so it's nothing for us to go over there because it's odd to hear you be referred to as a foreigner, but because I don't feel like one, when I'm there. So.
So, Kiko, what resources? I mean, what would you? Because I know you guys have talked about going there for a vacation. Because the kids want to go, they're still young enough that but they're at that age. You got to go during the summer.
Ooh.
Do you feel like you need to do anything to prepare for that, or do you think just because the wife is from the Philippines that you just catch a plane and go? That's kind of where I'm going with some of this tonight is how do we get people to feel comfortable in making the journey, taking that first step to either enter in a relationship with a Filipina and or to go there?
Well, it depends whether they've traveled before or not. It depends on their past experience of travel.
Mm-hmm.
If they've never been out of the country, it's going to be a big different world for them.
I agree.
You gotta be pretty closed minded if you gotta be open minded. I mean, and to realize that things aren't like they are here. Here you can't be making demands and stuff. That's the worst personality to have is I want it now.
I think you're absolutely right that you have to be very, very open minded.
Yeah.
I knew a lot about Filipino women before I went because I kind of grew, since I was 16, 17, I've been around the Filipino community here. So I knew a lot about their behavior, but I didn't know anything really about the country. And, I tell the story for years and years and years, I had them coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, you should meet my sister or my niece or my cousin, in the Philippines. And I kept telling them, There's no way in hell am I flying across the world just to meet some stinking girl, And
But you did anyway, didn't you?
but I did anyway when I ran into Lorelai. So that changed the whole rule. So,
Oh,
but what that does, and I think you're right. Are you adventurous or are you not? If you're not the adventurous type, then you probably got to do a whole lot more
venture minded.
on this. And
Yeah,
I'm talking about this tonight is we may go to Pakistan.
I'm
And
not. Well, forget about that, man.
no, we
Oh,
may go to Pakistan. We have dear friends there.
okay.
And in the preparation for that, I will be doing tons and tons and researches so that I know personally how not to offend those people with my actions.
You gotta dress like them, I guess.
I will. It's their country, their religion. I will try to do my very best to
You
behave.
know, uh, yeah, you gotta have patience there, Tim. There's a guy at Bohol, Dan, and I don't watch him anymore, but when I was, he'd been there like almost 20 years, not 20 now. And he would still get upset and ticked off because, people didn't know what he was talking about. He said, for instance, he went into a hardware store and what we call a rat tail file, they call it something else. And if they don't recognize that, oh, we don't have that.
Why you
When they,
so
when you can, where you can see one sitting there, but he would get all bent out of shape over it.
Tim says that I feel like a foreigner sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
Joe says in Mendora he's called Santa Claus. You know,
really?
uh, Tim is when in the Philippines you have to have a lot.
Santa Claus.
You have to have patience out the kazooie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I realize that a lot of times you're going to get one thing done in the day. One thing, one appointment could eat up your entire day, and
Yeah,
that's okay with the slower the better. I mean, the mail systems like the Pony Express, or some wandering nomad going through the desert,
when it
that
takes
takes
you
you 3 months.
3.5 hours to go 50 miles. Nah.
Yeah, yeah. When I went to Naga City from Bhutan, it was 33 hours, or no, it was 26, something like that.
Everybody say hello to Filipino with an attitude. Welcome
Oh,
in. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about recommending resources to people that may want to date and or come to the Philippines as a tourist, to live there, to retire there. Doesn't matter. Or any other country. I have some expat stuff I'm going to share in a little bit, talking about some great resources on how to become an expert, a smart expat, whether it's the Philippines or Thailand or
not a
Germany.
smart ass, but a smart one.
So, because we have to run. So that's what we're talking about tonight. But we appreciate you liking us, giving us a thumbs up, and shouting us out. Joe is showing off that he can speak Tagalog, 'cause that's what
Mm.
Joe does. I know Joe, and we know what you're doing. So, but everybody say hi to everybody. And if you haven't subscribed to each other, make sure you guys do that.
14 thumbs up, David.
Good. We need 10,000. But
10,000, huh?
yeah. But I learned a lot. The funny thing I was telling you, after I went to, once I decided to fly to the Philippines and hook up with Loila, the wife, that's when I actually started to study the country of the Philippines. Because, my background's education, of course. And so I started to dive into the history, the mythology, blah, 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 blah. Because I thought I had a good understanding of Philippine women because I've been around them since I was 16. No, the women that have been in the Philippines, the women that have been in America are way different than the women in the Philippines. So
You're on your own on that one, man.
am I wrong?
I ain't saying nothing to that.
Anybody disagree with me? The ones that have become Americanized are way, way, way
Uh,
ones that are in the Philippines.
That's a fact.
America will ruin a person.
So Portalola 45 says, I have an OFW girlfriend who works in Dubai. When I retire, I will live in good. You know, we have a lot of friends that plan on retiring, like Ken, Joe, other people who want to.
I'm retired.
You know, the
Chief
Yank,
is retired.
the Yank is in the same process. They're going to retire and live full time in the Philippines. We
Yeah.
went there to do that and got destroyed by a typhoon.
I'll be back once more for my son's wedding next year, and that'll be it.
So I encourage you. We know quite a few people that work in Dubai, but I encourage you to do that if that's what. But I want to encourage you if you haven't been to the Philippines, and I'm sure Yank and everybody else on the panel and the chat would tell you that if you really want to, if you think you want to retire there, like Ken Unger, who's been there 7, 8, 9 times on vacations because he's not ready to retire yet, I'm going to highly encourage you to go there. Going to highly
Well,
that.
my benefit was spending 30 days at a crack, and not a week. You don't get
Wait, stop. 30 days on crack?
no a crack.
At a crack. Oh, okay, at a time. Okay, there.
Oh Lord.
Settle it down, Mr. Yank. Don't be talking about drugs on my channel. but
What do you got on your mind? Holy crud.
but don't you agree that it's really good to go visit before you decide?
Oh sure, absolutely.
So
But the main thing you gotta have, and I keep saying it, you gotta have common sense. Really, you really do. When you're new somewhere, just
hello,
zip the lip and observe.
that's it. And
Well, You
one of
don't you don't sit there and put somebody down right in front of them. It's just because other people do things differently doesn't give you a right because where you come from that you can just that's not cool.
Yeah, it's easy to shame people in the Philippines as part of their culture. So you do got to be careful about how you dress people down. You got to be
Yeah,
you got to work it to where you're not tearing them down, but you're manipulating their behavior to get what you want versus ripping them a new butthole.
yeah. I think
James in the house. James, man. Hello. Everybody say good hello to James. We appreciate you out there in California. And we're talking about James because I know James is a really smart guy. He sends me emails all the time of stuff, and I read it and study. He's a smart dude. And he's studied the Philippines a lot. So, James, what would you recommend people do if they want to learn about becoming an expat and or moving to the Philippines or wanting to date a Filipina?
knowing your place over there too.
Yeah. So Mr. 45 here says, my girlfriend was stunning when I visited her. Zoom did not show all of it. Oh, well, we all have that story. I mean, if you are going to, like I said, I'll just tell my tiny story very quickly. As I said, I had no absolutely desire to marry a Filipina, go to the Philippines, 500,000 Guatemala miles away on a plane for 5 days just to hook up with some stinking girl. But
you did it anyway.
Laura, Lorelai, who was the stinking girl, my wife, when we, sadly, I knew within about a week or two that this was going to be a problem. And was she beautiful? Absolutely. But I could tell that her mentality, her behavior, would suit very well with mine. And then you pack your shit and you go on a trip, is what happens. So we are very happy that we all think our wives are the best looking Filipinos. And let me tell you this on a funny side note, I know all of our wives think they are the best looking Filipino. Isn't that right? I mean, Nico's old, and Hey, Kiko. Sorry, not Nico.
Oh,
Sorry. That weird dyslexia.
Nico's old. He's younger than me.
Supposed to say Kiki, right, Tony?
Kiko, Frico. I mean, yeah, Kiki.
Whatever Tony says.
Whatever Tony says. Mr. K is old, and and I mean that in good words because he's been married a very, very, very long time, back before the internet was kicking and screaming.
I think
And
he's
so
doing
he
a
probably
great job.
had the same experience when he landed and met his beautiful wife. So John is saying hello to Mercy.
Put it this way, it was so long ago that all I had was the picture of her face on the dating site, and she had no picture of me. So,
Oh Lord,
yeah,
It's been
big
a while.
surprise for her, huh?
nah.
John said his wife is almost done raising him. Well, somebody needs to keep you in line, John. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
She's almost done raising you.
Hello.
Man, John since you reminds me of the neighborhood or the adults back when I was a kid. That humor reminds me of that.
So James is saying here, my personal advice for someone who wants to travel to the Philippines, know somebody there where you're going because things are very different than your home country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I agree. I think, now look, here's what I'll say, and I've said this in a video, and I honestly mean this, and I describe this why. I actually believe 1,000% that men who are in the military do much better in the Philippines than guys like me who's never been in the military. I absolutely believe that. I think military men can pop into a country they've never been in and handle it.
And also, a lot of us have seen, we've known some of our former military mates who were married to Filipinos, so we saw their experience. Even though we hadn't been there, we saw what it was like being married to a Filipino. I know I did in my past.
And that helped you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I never heard a negative word about Filipino
Let me
wives.
say hello to ET Travel Freely. But
OET.
But James, I think you're spot on. We know right now. We know some guys that are kind of wanting to go there cold, and I think it's a mistake. I think you do need to have a buddy there if you don't have a wife. You need to have a buddy there that you know where you're going. Otherwise, I don't want to pick on the Philippines with this, but if you land as a white male in any country or an American or a foreigner, and you got a little bit of cash, or you're going to be assumed to have some cash because you're traveling, you're going to be a target no matter where you go.
David, that's why I've often wondered why now a business to start would be don't get these words wrong, an escort business.
Yeah.
Not that type of
I
escort,
know.
but someone who's, here we have licensed and bonded, right?
Yes.
Someone who will meet you at whatever airport you're coming into. They will be your quote guide, interpreter, whatever, to help smooth whatever transition you're going to have if it's your first time there, right? I mean, someone who's trustworthy. Like I said, if there's any formal way to license or bond them, yeah. And that way you won't get scammed. Like, there's tons of people who will help you for a price, but get a good, honest person who will go if they need to travel with you wherever you want to go, fine. If you need to pay, their extra room, if you're staying in a hotel or whatever, but someone trustworthy that would really help you out, at least initially. And why there may be businesses like that out there, but I'm not familiar with of them.
What do you have to have, regardless of whatever you do? What do you got to have?
What, Tony? What do you have?
you gotta have common sense, whether you got a guide or not. You can't, suckers get taken and can be taken by anyone.
Mhm.
You have to be smart enough to know when it just, this doesn't sound good, man, or, you know, you can't, you should never go into something giving somebody 100% of your trust.
Right. I look, I agree with both concept. The thing is there are companies and resources like that in other countries. I don't know about any in the Philippines because
Sure.
I'm gonna say this, and this may piss people off, which whatever, you know me.
Hmm.
Is two, a lot of people go to the Philippines because they don't have a lot of money and they can make their dollar stretch. There is what's in their head, so they're not going to hire or enlist a service. But I know these
Hmm.
work because when I was supposed to go to Russia for the college, it was all set up to where there was somebody that was actually our guide, our contact person. And I know this in other countries too. They have services like that. Never heard of it happening in the Philippines, and maybe why not is because of the money, but also because of the English language is spoken, fairly decently in the Philippines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we're not the only foreigners. There's guys from all over Europe and other in the Middle East. There's not just English speaking guys that want to go there.
that's right. And one thing I did learn was the Koreans and the Chinese that come there, they have their network. And same thing with my friend who's from Pakistan. They have their community, and when somebody new from Pakistan's coming over, they're the ones that reach out and say, "Brother, we are here," and they do that.
Muslims?
Muslims from Pakistan, because that's where they're from, but from China, from Korea, they have their networking group. So a lot of times, unless it's a tourist thing, but even the tourist Koreans that we ran into, they come in groups. They all kind of stick together. Us Americans,
I don't know if they have such a thing over there. You know, they do when you go to Italy, or you got tour groups. I don't know if they have any tour groups visit the Philippines.
yeah, I
That'd
don't
be
know.
that'd
I
be
don't.
a good business.
James says my retired friend wanted to travel to the Philippines at one time, but he said they didn't want to get kidnapped.
You
Which
know, you
I
know,
really,
you know about that. They had these travel warnings out, and I went there anyway. And I thought, what's the big deal? It's you got to know your surroundings. If you don't belong in that over in Sulu or Tawi Tawi, don't think you you got to know what neighborhoods to stay out of, just like you do here.
well, and this is what Filipino with an attitude is talking about. And look, James, and I know this is not you, but I'm just what I will say is I personally in the Philippines never felt like I was in physical harm from another person.
Yeah.
Never. Anywhere. Anywhere. Never did. Never did. But Filipino attitude is saying you got to stay out of places like what is it called? Marawi.
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 All right.
Marawi.
Well, we're going to bring up another young man to the panel here. Hey,
There he is.
Oh,
Still in Hawaii?
yes.
everybody say hello to Bill, to
I might,
Bam.
I might
How
go
is
there if I need a surgery or something in the future. It's
yeah,
be shorter.
yeah.
What's
The
happening
media
there?
exaggerates the fear to people. Well, and of course, look, you know, a little bit of fear, is good to be honest. But I don't have. I agree with you. The media blows everything out of whack. And thinking of Hawaii, since Bill happens to be hanging out in Hawaii at the moment, there's Bill, and maybe you've heard this. There's a huge problem with the local Hawaiians getting priced out of their country.
Yeah.
I mean, out of their state. They
Yeah.
can't afford to live there anymore. So they would really like for us foreigners on the mainland not to come there to live.
Right.
So, maybe that's part of the fear mongering in other parts of the Philippines, and I don't know because I've never been to those what's considered bad parts of the
Right.
Philippines. Maybe they do that so that people like me don't come live there.
Right. Well, it's since we live in that bad area that they tell you not to go to. And what's up, Tim? Hello, Blue John, everybody. But
Oh,
it's
that's not coming up to you.
yeah,
Somebody
you
say,
know, since we live there and I see how things work, and I see, I've been not only have I been living there for whatever 5 years, whatever, but all the years that I've been going there and stuff, and we never had a problem. Um, but my wife's father is worked for the government, and he was a high position in the roads. Right, he was a head engineer for Mindanao, and he used to have drivers, bodyguards, and all that kind of stuff. So back when I first was over there with Merce, and we'd have a pretty much a driver, a bodyguard. He'd be the one taking us places. So everywhere that we would want to go, we unless we were right there in the town, we could drive ourselves around. But other than that, if we wanted to go somewhere, we were escorted. But it was much more wild back then. But like him or not, when the Duterte came into office and he started locking stuff down, and they started going after some of these groups, um, it became a lot safer down there,
Mhm.
and you didn't hear of it as often. Every time that I had um, heard something going on, it seemed like there was a foreigner and his wife. They were bragging about how much money they had. They were flashing it. They were do every day. Look at us. We bought a resort. Look at us. We own this restaurant now. Look at us, our fancy cars. When you put that stuff out there for everybody to see and it's in their face, you become a target. Let's face it, right?
Well,
So
if you're that stupid, you deserve to be a target.
you know that's kind of what I thought. So when it was time for them to earn some money, of course they just staked out. They watched his pattern, and they did the same thing every day. They took the same little drive, and came back to the hotel at the same little time. So
So, Bill, let me ask you a question. We're looking at YouTube channels
yeah,
that these are the ones I selected, and I forgot one, but
hmm
these are the ones that I've selected that I recommend to people who want to learn about the Philippines or learn about being an expat or even learn about Filipinas. Do you have a suggestion of a YouTube channel that would be good for somebody who's new to this community, or fairly new, that would help them with this process?
yeah. I mean, check out the Rileys. Of course, I'm not no dummy. Wouldn't say my own channel.
That's what I did. I put me first.
That's right. That's right. Uh, Well, there's some pretty good channels, but you got to see stuff through filters, right? They
Yeah.
all got their own filters. Of course, Filipina P, that's a Filipina who lives in Dumaguete that dates foreigners. You know, see it through her eyes. What does she see? She sees it a lot rosier than somebody that doesn't have those luxuries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have her on there, and I have Jennifer Terry because she provides some good information.
yeah.
I have Bud Brown,
Yeah,
they're
I
great.
used to watch Bud Brown before I came over.
Mhm.
Phillies is okay if you're into that
Part
walking
of the
street
country.
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
um,
The
you know,
Philippine channel is pretty good. It's a young, small channel.
yeah,
A Nomad Overseas provides really good information about traveling
yeah,
overseas.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah.
That's where some of that goes.
I don't think I know Jennifer Terry, but I think about the rest of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's kind of like the Filipino P, except for I think she sticks more to business stuff. And then, of course, what we brought up earlier from Mr. K was the grandpa
Grandpa blog.
vlogger.
Filipino.
Yeah, he's a Filipino in America. Very
Oh,
good channel. I
oh
forgot.
yeah. I've seen him a few times.
Yeah, I kind of forgot him. He's a good channel.
Yeah.
He's very smart. He's a retired accountant.
Right.
So, I mean, he knows his stuff.
Right.
So,
You know, I am leery of some of the channels that what I call the know-it-alls, right? They live in one spot in the Philippines, but they know everything about the entire Philippines. And those are the the
dangerous.
channels that I always get scared of, and like people will actually listen to that person thinking that that's the way it is all throughout. And I compare it to America. New York is not the same as where I lived in Indiana, right?
Right.
California is not the same as Hawaii here. It's drastically different throughout, and that's how it is in the Philippines too. So if somebody's going to tell you this is the budget you have to have for living there,
Garbage.
where are they living? What kind of style do they live? Can somebody live on X amount of dollars? Well, if you're living in Makati, no, you cannot live on $500 a month.
Well, you
Come on.
could, but you're going to be on the street or
Right. You're going to be
living in a closet.
right. So you better be living with somebody and them not taking advantage of you.
And that's part of the key. And something I said earlier, all of these YouTube channels that I listed, including yours, has great information
Right.
About day-to-day life, about traveling, about the
Right.
visas, about all this stuff. But you also have to take it with a grain of salt and do your own research.
Exactly.
And this is what I was saying. I try hard to do when I talk about visas and other things. I try to show the government website.
Right.
Look,
Right.
here's what I'm saying, but here's what the damn government right here. See,
Right.
you have to do A, B, C, D. Here's what the government tells us we have to do.
Right.
That's the only thing that matters, not what I think,
Right.
what the process is.
Right. Yeah. Like when Mercy did the video of when H2H came to the Philippines to get married. We took everybody through the steps. Here's what the government says you got to do. Here's us going to do these things. Here's the kind of time frame you're looking at.
Yes.
And, we just showed it. Here's what they said. Here's what we did. Here's how it turned out.
Yeah.
Shabam, he got married.
And that's really, I think, helpful stuff to people.
Right.
But, I know, there's a lot of garbage on YouTube at the moment. But,
Yes.
I tell everybody, you got to take YouTube with a grain of salt. It is not reality. So just take a chill and use it as entertainment and look at that way.
Mm-hmm.
Tim says lifestyle determines how much money a person will need. Absolutely. And where you live, like Bill said, look, living in Cebu City is way more expensive. It's almost about the same as in the United States. Maybe not quite as much, but it's not cheap comparatively to living out in the Providence where we looked at houses and was shocked that they want $200,000 and $300,000-$400,000 for these houses.
Right.
And it's just I wouldn't even pay that in America.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. Depends on where you live. The other thing a lot of people don't understand, it really depends on how much you drink and how much you smoke. Whether the Philippines is going to be good for you or not.
Right.
And what you want out of life.
Right.
Want to just sit around and get drunk and hopefully get laid once in a while, or do you look? I'll tell a story. When we were after the typhoon hit and destroyed everything we had, and destroyed us, we finally after 10 days found a temporary hotel for a day or 2 days that had power and water half of the day.
Right.
but we paid 5 or 6 times normal rate. But we ran into a gentleman there, very nice gentleman, and he was 80 years old, and told us he's been living there for about 15 years, and his 2 primary goals was get drunk, and once in a while get a blowjob from some Filipino. It's all he wanted out of life.
Yep, they're there, you know. But at least, you know, if he's honest with whoever he's around, hey, do what you do, yo.
I agree. You know, honesty is the key. If everybody, you know, that's what I tell people. Look, if you know, I don't like sex pats. I despise them more than you can imagine because I think they do more harm than good.
Right.
But and this is what I said earlier when we started this one. If you're going to the Philippines or any country to be a sex pat, then just hook up with the hookers and leave everybody else alone.
Right.
You know, that's my thought. And then if you do that, I don't really care what you do because at least the hookers know what they're getting into.
Right. Yeah, we talked about just the couple live streams ago. We talked about the person here in the Philippines community that came over to the Philippines, and he had about 5 or 6 different girls lined up, his fiancées. So he went to different places to test each one of them out. And, you know, he lied the whole time what he was doing. He assaulted one of the other girls that wasn't even on his list there. And
but look, and I know about this drama, and I think it's discarded.
Sounds like he's looking for an ass kick.
Well, but what people have to do is, and I'll say this again because I said this earlier.
J3.
We have to educate Filipinos to understand that I can't give them a visa. I don't care. I can't do it. You know, only the government can give you a visa, and you're not getting a visa to America unless you're married or you're a nurse. That's the way it is. So education comes into this in awareness, but if they choose to be part of that, but he's not uncommon. You know, this has been going on for I don't know 100 years.
Sure, whatever.
I mean, it's been going on forever.
Right.
And we all know this because even when I first started dating, when I came to the Philippines to meet Lorelai, I had the diamond ring that she wanted, you know, I mean, you know, and all of that, you know, she thought I was there to visit her and other girls because that's what they think.
Right.
No, you know, what do you mean? I don't have any other hotels booked. We're here. You know, but we have to teach them to be aware of, if you want to call them predators, call them predators.
Right.
Or sex rats or whatever.
I call them predators because, you know, he's promising people, I'll take you back to Canada. I'll make sure you get your visa. I just want to come and visit you and stay with you for a little bit, and then I'll move to the. You don't tell them there's a next one, but you know.
And Tim says that he's moved there due to health issues, but his health has much improved. You know, so that's good, Tim. You know, everybody has their own reason or passion for moving wherever they want. And this is part of my education process is also to get not only people that are new to the world who want to be a part of the community, some help and understanding at no cost from anybody, you know, just look, here's what we know.
Exactly.
But in doing that, Bill, with this type of situation, I'm hoping to bring, you know, some awareness that the bad people don't need to go there because we appreciate the Philippine people.
Right.
And so the people that are married and like the Yank, you know, and Mr. K, who have wives, who live there, who've been there, who does that, they don't want that. We don't want to be represented like that. So we want to teach everybody the right way to do things.
Right.
With the right processes.
Right.
You know, is kind of the goal. Instead of beating up a pervert, which is stupid, to give him any time of the day, focus on the good so that everybody learns and the perverts go away.
Right. Yeah, it's I think, you know what I've seen in this situation was, you know, they're pretty good at hunting, and his hunting field was right here on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
He's looking for them. There's a particular type that he's looking for.
sure.
They're financially desperate.
Right.
They're, you know, naive, um,
Right.
very young.
But
You
as
know,
we've said, Bill, many, many times, or I've said
right?
many, many, many times, sexpats are people that can't get laid in their own country.
True.
So they have to go after women who are desperate in another country.
Right.
And my point is, those women, especially women that are familiar with YouTube, should by now know how this game works.
Right.
So that they had to be more aware. He's playing me because Bill O'Reilly, the Yank, Mr. K, and 500,000 other people on YouTube, Tim, is saying here, it's almost impossible for a single Filipino to get a visa.
Right.
You're not going to get one.
Yeah. They denied my sister-in-law, and she's a nurse, but she was coming over to visit. Her,
Right.
you know, her parents were coming over and to the U.S., and the sister was going to come as well, and they still denied her because she was single. You know,
Yes.
she owns property, she has a job, she, you know, all that stuff was still, you know, she had money in the bank, all that stuff was good, except for the only thing was she was a single young lady, right?
That's
So
correct.
they didn't let her come.
She may not ever leave.
Right.
And so we've talked about YouTube channels tonight. I want to share with you some other resources that I like that I share with people all on a regular basis. And so you guys can take a look at this. Here's some websites that I recommend people go and check out. Rapidvisa.com. They have a lot, and there's other visa companies out there. Personally, we used Rapid Visa in the past. We like them, had no problems with them. There's a lot of good information. And one thing I like about them is you can call them up on the phone and ask them questions. And I've done that for many people. I've made phone calls and said, hey, here's the scenario. What do you know about it? And they'll tell you, well, we don't either know. We don't know nothing because that's not what we do, or here's what you do.
Right.
There's another really good website out there called the expatfocus.com. It talks about healthcare, travel restrictions, you name it, not to the Philippines, but to everywhere.
Right.
So to learn about travel, getting into other countries, the restrictions, everything. And I've been watching it for years. It's a very good channel. And then expat.com is very, very similar. They will have really nice articles about, I know the Yank and I've been talking about healthcare a little bit, about healthcare, about banking, about finances, you know, about ways to do this wherever you're at in the world. And I'm a big fan of these sites, these type of sites. Then, of course, we have the USCIS.gov, which is the United States Immigration website,
Right.
which has travel advisories and everything else involved, which I think is fantastic. Of course, we have the Philippine immigration site for the Philippines. And then, of course, and I know Philippine Airlines gets a lot of bad shit, catches a lot of hell, but their website, if you dig down in there, has a lot of good information about the rules and regulations getting in and out of the Philippines.
Right.
Resources everywhere. So you don't need to just believe me. You can go do your own research. Does anybody have any other websites that they think would be beneficial to anybody? The what? The dog? Oh, Lorelai's yelling at me from another room. The dog website. Oh, the what?
What should I do?
Okay.
Book.
But if you're taking a pet, that's a whole ball of wax. We did videos about taking the pets. I don't recommend it. Very expensive and time consuming. But
that's what I told some people. They asked me about their dogs. I said, well, you know how cheap a dog is in the Philippines. you'd be a lot better off. I mean, I understand attachment and stuff, but
We couldn't we don't go without our dogs.
I
But
understand.
we also pay out of nose to do it.
Right.
And I mean, I could bought a car in America.
Exactly.
So John says, I don't know if these white ladies are hungry or what. Bill, when I walk by, they stare at me. What should I do, Bill? You think they're hungry? Maybe they're just, shocked to see a handsome man, John.
Mm-hmm.
Tim is saying, I knew a man that is married to a Filipina. He was turned down for a visa, and she brought out the business class of a flight to bring his family here to meet her. Wow.
Yep.
And we've talked before. I understand why the government doesn't want people to overstay here, but and I know they're paranoid of that, but I still don't know why it has to be so difficult for people from another country just to be here for a visit.
Right.
I just don't like that. But I don't know.
Maybe give them like they do the crooks. Give them an ankle monitor and
GPS tracking system.
Right. Stick that on them. And
Yeah. So, part of the agreement for you to be here for 21 days is you have to do this.
right.
And so we know that if you overstay.
Right. You know where to come find you. As soon as you cut it off, we send somebody after you.
Tim says that the old dog, his name's Paul, right? Old dog in New Jersey, whatever. Paul, if I remember right. He used to be a car salesman, if I remember right. Says he has a great video about services available about the American Embassy. That's really good. That's something I don't know anything about. So that would be a really good topic to learn.
No.
Yeah, I quit watching him when he was Old Dog the pimp or whatever he was doing there for a while. I'm not watching this.
Yeah, I don't watch him either. I find his voice irritating.
Yeah. Well, when he's like we do, we interview Filipinas, single Filipinas and stuff, which is okay. But when you got them strutting around in bikinis in front of the camera and she's a single one, like he's auctioning them off and stuff, like
It's just
I'm gonna stop watching this. This ain't right.
Joe and I joke, J3, Joe and I joke a lot because the only way to have a really big channel in the Philippines or to have a really big YouTube channel anywhere is the clickbait. You got to have somebody with big boobs popping them around.
Right.
Exactly. It really does that.
What's that, Mr. Yank?
Philly in the Philippines does the clickbait thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do it because I like doing it, and if you like it, you do. If you don't, you don't.
Right.
I don't live this isn't my life.
Yeah, Philly in the Philippines lives in Angeles, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's from.
It's not Walking Street.
I'm sure he's a good guy. He seems like he is, but I just, I don't know.
Yeah, when his wife is doing videos of no bra cooking, like
Lord, really? They're up to that now?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that, but I haven't watched him in a while. But before, he used to do videos.
After that, I'm going to get right over there.
You're running.
She's kind of old. She's kind of an old lady, but he used to do really good videos about driving around the city and walking around the city and shopping and doing things like that. Here, buying his motorcycle, getting parts for his motorcycle. Right. Things like that were really good. But I.
Yeah.
Tim says he even was called by the embassy to do the. Oh wow, I didn't know that. He was called by the embassy. Paul was to do the video. That's nice. I know a really good guy that does. If you need about education in the Philippines, but nobody really cares about that.
Right.
John says the old dog finally tied the dog knot. He got married to.
Me.
What was her name? Blue or Baby or
Daisy?
Baby.
It's kind of a weird name.
I think it's Baby, actually.
Baby Faye or May?
Yeah.
Baby May.
And that's what it was like, Baby Faye.
I've only seen him a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one guy I put on there that is all the condos and things. He does a lot of the condo videos, and
Right.
bald headed old guy. He does all right. He tries to just.
Yeah.
But
Now,
there's-
does he only talk positive about the condos, or does he ever say anything bad about them?
well, he doesn't say much bad or much positive. From me, when I watch his videos, he's just saying, "Here's what it is."
Mm.
So
Okay.
he really doesn't say this is great or this is bad. He just presents it,
Right.
which I think is good.
Yeah. Yep.
We looked at condos over there and had to stay in one after the typhoon, and man,
Right. Yeah.
Jim says he doesn't do the clickbait style video. No,
Is that why you're not watching my videos?
yeah,
Yeah,
you need to. Well, I told
you
everybody.
need some of them hulas.
Well, I told everybody the next cooking video I do, I'm going to put my apron on and take my shirt off.
Man. Well, I'm sure you'll get some bites on that.
Just
Yeah,
call it no bra cooking. And,
Yeah, right.
if you're not wearing a bra,
yeah. But Laura,
Oh,
she would hit her in
gosh.
the head with a frying pan if I did it. So, PT travel feeling. It all has to do with getting into the old
Spend too much time doing those videos, not enjoying life there.
yeah.
So he's saying that U.S. immigration found out and banned a number of Asian countries from going over to find better living. And we could talk the border politics bull crap where, it's easier to just sneak across the border. So go to Mexico, then just sneak across the border.
There you go.
There
you go. They'll pay you.
Yeah. And Tim says it was Baby May. Her name was Baby May.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it was something like that. So, but there are a lot of good YouTube channels, and I just picked a handful because I didn't want to go gigantic.
Before I moved over, I was watching a lot of Becoming Filipino as well, because he actually lived in Mindanao.
Oh, that dude, that Swede guy or Norwegian guy?
He's Canadian, but I heard that he
Danish.
actually became a Filipino.
Hmm.
I don't know how it works with Canada, but I guess they made him into a citizen here recently. They had to pass something through their Congress or whatever to accept him as a Filipino. So, I mean, if I live in Canada, I might take that option as well, but I don't. I don't. So it's not something I would do.
Yeah, the weird thing about Canada, and I'm not an expert in Canada, but I have
right.
a sister-in-law who's Canadian, and she refuses to become an American citizen. She's a permanent resident because she can go back to Canada and get health care and get treated. So,
Right.
and we know other Canadians that spend half and half.
Right.
And if you spend half the time in another country, half the time in Canada, you still get all the Canadian benefits. If
Right.
you spend most of the time out of Canada, then you get, just limited benefits, or you got to go back for those benefits. So
Right.
there's some things, in the United States, as we all know, that if you want to become a citizen of another country, you have to denounce your U.S. citizenship.
Right.
And then, because there is no dual citizenship
Right.
in America. So I don't know about Canada.
Right. That I figured it was probably something similar, but I don't know. Yeah.
Now, I've been told, and we know people in Canada who are Filipino, that it is easier to get a work permit, a work visa for Canada than it ever is in America. So there is a lot of Filipino people living in Canada because they can get work visas there.
Right.
Canada also keeps up with them somehow.
Yeah.
So James here is saying, hey, before you go traveling, you better make sure you take your Imodium or your anti-diarrhea medicine just in case. You thank God for bottled water when you travel.
Christening. Shit yourself as a christening.
When we travel, we don't drink water.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from it, huh?
Yeah, we go on an all soda or tea or brewed something hot, something
Right.
that. But yeah, when we So that's absolutely something. So those are just kind of websites that I find useful and helpful, and I just think they work good. Get back over here. All right, get rid of that. Well, what else has been going on in the world here? Oh, then of course, here's all of my stuff. Since it's my live stream,
There you go.
we have a Philippine American Facebook group and a page, and then we have a LinkedIn account. Lorelai and I do. So because we have LinkedIn from
Top notch.
100 years ago. So what is it, Mr. Yank? Were you mouthing? I heard you say something.
Top notch.
We are top notch, buddy.
Mm.
Let me see if I can figure out how to get rid of that now. I'm not very smart. There we go. All right. And so what advice do you have? Anybody want to chime in about the best advice if somebody calls you up and say, I think I'd like to travel to the Philippines? What would you tell them?
Good luck.
Good luck.
That's pretty good. That's solid right there. No, I tell some people, there's always those anxious people, and I talked to one here not too long ago. So he's sold his house. He's decided he's going to go live in the Philippines, and sold all his stuff, and he's got like a few days left in Canada there, and he's going to come over, but he's never been to the Philippines before, and I'm telling them, based upon my experience, if you've never even been there, never been to that area that his girlfriend is from or whatever, and that's where you guys are planning on, doing your thing, why don't you go visit it first? I mean, it's not, don't go all in before you take that first, little trip over there, And then being on vacation, as we all know, in the Philippines is a lot different than
Vacation
living in the Philippines.
That's it.
Right.
Well, and the other thing to follow up with that, Bill, is if he hasn't been there, then he doesn't know if his girlfriend's real. He doesn't know when
Right.
he lands there,
The full story, right?
there, or that she may be up with her husband.
Right.
He hasn't been there. He
Right.
doesn't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going on blind faith,
Yeah.
which is not the smartest thing to do, no matter which country you're going to go.
Right.
And the Yank and I know a couple of gentlemen that are in this process also. One has decided smartly to go for 30 days and come back.
Right.
And everything works out well, then he plans on finishing rid of his stuff.
All comes back to the common sense thing. If you don't got it, you're destined to screw up.
But thinking with the wrong head, is that what they
Yeah,
say?
if you don't have the sense, you're in trouble.
Right.
Well, to be honest, if you're going over there blind, then you don't have any common sense.
Well, it's a real risk, though. It really is, and maybe you'll get lucky, but most of them don't. So,
Because
you can't teach that common sense.
but a smart
you just
person
can't.
with common sense will try to mitigate, their
Yeah, forget about street food. Is correct there, but there's nothing. We could talk all day, man, and then if somebody's going to believe what they're going to believe.
Right.
Mr. 45 was saying I stayed away from street food. Street food is an interesting concept because what? I think it is because
Bacteria killers, man.
and I love to see how people cook street food. And
Well,
street
go
food
eat some.
is some of the best food I've ever eaten, but you just, it's one of those like a devil and an angel for me.
Huh.
Like, oh my God, I want to eat that so bad. I want to try that so bad. Oh my
Yeah,
God, that's good. Then
you're
you
gonna
kind
be
of
on the toilet the rest of your trip.
where did the chicken come from? How long did it sit outside?
All day.
Yeah. When you see about 20 egg cartons stacked straight up in the air,
Yeah.
you've been there a while. But anyway, I'm gonna get going.
All right, my friend. So you're going to be back on Friday night, right?
Yeah, I'll be back Friday, I believe.
5:15 or 5:05 or what?
I fit probably 5:15. I don't know.
Okay. So everybody can go watch the Yank live stream
Yeah.
on Friday at 5:15.
All right.
We appreciate you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Good night, Tony.
Good
See you
night.
next time.
Everybody, let's see. ET Driver says, I'm in Malaysia. If you're coming here, I can help you. If you're going to Thailand, I suggest who to follow. We're a community of 60-year-olds. Yeah, see, that's good. And, look, one thing I'll say, just about everybody, well, I'll say this. There's a lot of people that are more than happy to help without an agenda. I think Bill's one. I'm one. There's a lot of other, YouTubers out there that really don't seem to have an agenda if they want to help somebody. But then
Right.
you got the others who are more than happy to help you, but they have their own agenda.
Right. They want to sell you a plan. They want to.
Yeah.
They want to do
Teach
something.
you how to date women.
Right.
If you need something, look, if you need, and I'm going to pick on them because I think he's ridiculous. But if you need somebody to teach you how to pick up a woman, well, you got a problem, my friend.
Right.
You especially, and I know this may rub people wrong, but especially a woman from a third world country.
Sure.
Come
Yeah.
on,
If you're that hideous, you need to get more lessons than he can probably offer.
But don't you agree? So I do think, and I agree with you, T. We all in the community, I don't see anybody who's horribly trying to take advantage of other expats who want to come to the Philippines. I don't, Bill, and maybe maybe some of the other guys know from the other channels.
Yeah.
Is there a tuber that we should stay away from besides that other one? Forget that. That is misleading people that may want to come to the Philippines.
Yeah, I know plenty of them actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess I just don't know many people that are negative that are trying to
Well,
intentionally do harm to.
well, I don't know if they want to actually do harm, but they got a definite agenda, right? They want to teach bad things. They want to show you their bad ways.
Now I agree with that. I mean, and I'll just say there's the what the hell's the guy's name? Geo
That's it. That's one of them.
is one of the ones that I think is just full of shit.
Yeah.
And he does actively seem to be soliciting, is a word.
Yeah.
Hey, I will help you, but
Yeah.
his help is not good, guys.
Right.
So,
Not good, and it's not free either.
That's my point. And one thing I told people early on, and one of the reasons we started our channel, to be honest, years ago was because I saw Enrique pimping, hey, here's what I'm going to do. You just pay me. And I went, all of that information's free on the internet.
Right.
You don't got to pay anybody for that shit. It's all out there for free. Don't pay somebody for the stuff that you can do.
Right. Now, you know the thing that since we've been doing this for a while and stuff, I got to say this part too, okay?
Okay.
Now that we've been trying to help people out and stuff, there's some people that should give whoever's trying to help them out a little bit, for their time, for their like for example, we sit there and put out a video about how to get married and what to do exactly, where to go, what paperwork you need to bring, all this stuff. And then you get the person that wants us to hold their hand and walk them through the entire thing. I actually asked them, well, did you even watch the video? Did you just read my title and decide to contact us? And you're asking, I mean, this is, if I sit here and baby step you through this entire thing, we're talking about hours of talking to you here, and you didn't even try to do anything. And it's all free. It's all,
And I agree with that, Bill, because I think what happens is somebody is saying to you, I would like to. So look, I don't have a problem if you're somebody, anybody, even Mr. K here, if somebody says, look, I need to do this, and I understand that you know how to do it. Would
Right.
you let me pay you and help me do it?
Yeah, let me
Oh.
kick you a couple dollars.
Or
Yeah.
beer, whatever.
Right. Right.
That, no issues with. But if I am going, look, guys, I'm the only one who knows the secrets.
Right.
And you need to subscribe and pay my whatever and do this.
Right.
And I will teach you, that's
Right.
garbage.
Right.
Garbage.
Exactly.
So that's how I look at it.
Yeah,
And
me too. Me too.
I actually very, very kind of like, e-begging is a big topic.
Right.
I don't like, I guess I'm one of the ones that don't like solicitations.
Right.
But if people want to give you money, it's none of my business.
Right.
It's not. I don't care.
Mhm.
I'm not going to call you out for it. I don't care.
Right.
The ones that are out there doing that whole, hey,
Right.
whatever. And but the other side of that coin for me is if the people look, and I have to say this in all honesty, if Enrique is selling a bachelor's course
Right.
and that's what he's doing, that's what he's worked hard on, he's put a project together. Here's my class.
Right.
Now you can either take it or not.
Mhm.
And if I choose to pay him and take his class or something, then I don't have we can't really criticize him for that
Right.
because I, as a consultant here in the United States, did that every day. I would
Right.
put a program out and say, if you would like to buy this program or my knowledge,
Right.
you can. If not, go to this website. It's all free.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I had a lot of people pay me money because they
Right.
would rather somebody baby them through something.
Sure. Which is okay, but from what I understand, of course I never bought his package. I know other people that might surprise you all that actually jumped in and bought his package and
Got burnt.
did his tricks and all that stuff. But
Did they work? Or did they wind up going, well, shit, this is a waste of money?
I don't know anybody that's taken his stuff and said, "Hey, that was a good. That was worth it."
That's my point. And Tim, this goes back to what I was saying. Look, you don't need somebody to teach you how to meet a Filipino.
Right.
All you got to do is get off the damn plane.
Right.
It's
Bump
not.
into him. Don't go straight to Walking Street unless you're trying to get
Yeah.
the Filipino for the day for the price.
And then of course, if you truly want to meet a Filipino, we all know really good Filipinas that would like to meet somebody. We know we have somebody now that I wish I could find somebody to meet her. She's 30 years old. She's a wonderful person, make a great wife. I just don't know any single dudes.
Right.
We don't have any single friends over here. So
Well, my problem with some of those single guys, my wife has set up like everybody that was loose in my life, right? My friends and family and stuff. But now it's to the point that when somebody's doing not good stuff, it's hard to say, "Hey, Filipina, this is my friend Bobby here," but Bobby's a really bad alcoholic, and he
comes as caution, yeah.
right. He likes to do this and that. I can't try to recommend people like that, right?
I agree, and I think that's what we have to do, and that's kind of my point. I don't know anybody that I would recommend.
Right.
I know no men that I would recommend
Right.
who's not already married,
Right.
to somebody. I just don't know any.
Right.
The ones I do know, I wouldn't recommend them. I don't want them in my house.
Right. Right.
You know how it is. You get it. So Tim says he's never did e-begging for anything. Yeah, we either, look, and I'll be honest, we've had people, we've never e-begged, at least I don't think we have, but we've had people send us money and we've turned around and tried to use that to help others.
Sure.
Because that's what we do. We are okay financially.
Right.
So, of course, we appreciate the support, but we'd rather have likes, subscribes, shares, and all that, and good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I try to do with my channel is I try to have stimulating conversation.
Right.
But the money that we have received from folks, we've actually used it on others.
Right.
We didn't give it to others on YouTube. We
Right.
provided things for people
Mm-hmm.
while we done. So
Right.
Tim says, after living here for 10 years, I've been on the walking street less than 20 times.
Right.
Well, 2 times a year, that's not bad, ET says there are more mongers than those really looking for a good wife. Passport bros are no different. Yeah, Bill, have you been following the passport boys? You know about that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And we're actually going to be doing an interview with a passport bro, and some of them get bad raps, right? A passport bro and who I am, there's no difference other than the color of our skin, right? Now, just like this other guy that we've been talking about recently, the Canadian, he's just not the right color to call him a passport bro, but he's something, a predator, whatever you want to call him. So just in every community, there's going to be those people that are not good, right? So some of the passport bros will give the others a bad name. There's some that are.
Let me ask this, because I really don't know much about them, to be honest.
Right.
I just heard it on Facebook a tiny bit. I really don't know much about it.
Well,
but what I have seen on Facebook was black women bitching and complaining about them.
right.
That's the only part I know. That
Right.
there's been black women on there going, these guys are horrible because this is what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. Well, anytime, in different cultures, they believe this type of man needs to marry this type of woman. We would call it racist if it's the white people, right? But in the African American community, the black lady believes a black man should marry a black woman.
Not a white woman or an Asian or anything.
Not a white, not an Asian. Don't go to another country looking for somebody that's more in your wheelhouse or anything like that. So they're expressing it like only they can do. They're very outspoken about it, and that's what brought it to the forefront. It's nothing new. It's just the guys grabbed on to the name. Okay, oh, you're gonna call us passport brothers? Okay, well, passport bros we are. And they
Welcome,
just
No More Snow Channel. Dave, how have you been? It's been a while. I don't think we have talked for a year. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's been a while. Well, welcome in. Everybody say hi to No More Snow. It's good to see you. We appreciate you being here. Yeah, I really don't know, but I agree with you. But it's also in the white community. Trust me.
right. Same thing.
The white people might, like.
Right.
So now the real question I have goes back to what we're slightly talking about is are they predators or are they trying to find a wife?
So, some of them could be predators, and some of them are trying to find a wife, trying to find, and when I do my interview, the guy that I'm going to interview, I haven't dug into his story all the way, but I'm pretty sure, he just happened to find a Filipina that fulfilled what he was looking for in a woman. And, he came over, he married her, he didn't play games with her. He didn't, it was none of that run around to 100 different ladies or anything like that. So, to call him out, passport bro, is a bad guy. Well, I'm gonna show you a passport bro that did excellent. She was a single mother, and he accepted the child, and sure, some lady back in America could be mad about it because he's marrying outside of his culture or outside of his color or whatever. But
Well,
you're always going to find haters no
you
matter
know,
what you do.
I don't know if you guys, and we used to watch 90 Day Fiance years ago,
Yeah.
and there was, and I don't remember the names because I didn't pay that much attention. But there was a gentleman, a colored gentleman who dated, married a Filipina, or was
Mhm.
whatever. Maybe he did too. They were lesbian. I don't know. Kind of a weird thing.
Right.
But his brother got really pissed off because he married a Filipina.
Sure.
Right. If I remember, maybe married two of them. I don't know what he did, but he married a Filipina. The brother gets pissed off. And they don't talk. Well, on the show, I don't know, however long, but at some point in the show, it showed that the brother who was mad at the brother was in the Philippines and had a Filipina.
Right. Exactly. And I don't know about your experience. I had people in my family thought I was a crazy, right, for going over, and then after my wife came and they see my wife and my wife around me and stuff, next thing you know, I got the same group of people asking me, "Hey, how can I get one? Where can I find one? Does she have any friends? Does she
Yeah.
know anybody?" So
The,
my whole family like changed their mind. My family was a mixture anyways, but the distant people in my family, really started contacting me like, "Look, I see what you got going on and I want some of that."
the funny thing is, I agree with you in a sense.
Mhm.
The men, the women, the
Sure.
men, and I have horrible text messages saved
Right. from
from
the,
from them calling Lorelai everything in the world because they
right.
think they think Lorelai stole their inheritance. And I kept telling them, even before I ever met Lorelai, you're not getting any money.
Right.
They
Right.
have designated it. Now it all goes to Lorelai. But
Right.
before then, it was never going to them anyway. It wasn't going to the family. It wasn't going to my nieces and nephews and there are all these other asshole people in my family. It's
Right.
never going there. And I told them that for years.
Right.
They got mad because now Lorelai gets everything. So,
Right. Right.
but Mr. 45 says some of the black friends go to the DR,
Mhm.
party like they are the thick type. Well, I can see that. And, I can see that because I think a lot of Koreans fly over to the Philippines and kind of treat it like our Tijuana, you know.
Right.
Uh, you know what I mean by that?
Mhm.
So they come over for a few days and drink and party and sleep and then go back to the Philippines. Go
Right.
back to Korea. But
Right. I agree.
and find other cultures, women. Well, and I agree with James. James, and this is why I encourage people to date outside of their own culture. Forget color.
Right.
Color has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
But finding, other cultures are very interesting.
Right.
You learn so much if you open up your mind. And I would tell my young students, don't go get a job, go explore, go
Sure.
travel, go do anything else but sit around in Kentucky and do nothing.
Right.
Worst thing you can do. Go
Yeah.
join the military if you need to, but go explore.
Right.
But so yeah, I hadn't heard a lot about the passport boys, and it's kind of died down over here. I haven't heard much anything about anything anymore.
Yeah.
Or the passport bros, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe they should just call them the boys, passport boys, not bros.
They've changed up the names. Depending on who's saying it is how they're saying it, right? So,
Okay.
so some of them are saying passport kings. Some of them are saying passport expats. That kind of thing, or just
So
they're
is it
changing
like
it
a
up.
large group, or is it just kind of like a thing? Is it an organized group?
Well, there is a group of podcasters that I think they were the original passport bros. They took that somebody was calling them, and they changed the name of their show and the name of their stuff, and they're out telling people to get your passport. You don't have to settle for this lady that's only wanting you for a certain income, for a certain whatever. You can get a passport. You can travel the world. You can look outside of just what's available. And
That's why they're pissed off.
yeah, they're pissed about that. Right? So they're trying to help others. Not you don't have to settle for this girl that she's already got 3 kids with 3 different guys, and she's telling you got to have $100,000 job before she'll even talk to you or give you a time of day. You don't have to settle for that.
I don't care what color your skin is. That's the best advice you can have. I mean, I think American women are horrible. And I've said that. I got a video all about what I think about American women. And I described what's wrong with them.
Right.
And I've actually had American women watch that video and tell me, it sucks, but you're right.
Right.
And I don't care what color you are.
Right.
And that's another interesting topic, that I tell guys. I don't know if you could avoid it, whether you should bring your wife to America or not, or it should just be dedicated to the Philippines. We've worked back and forth, and we're good. And Lorelai's not a crazy American, thank God. So, but I know some Filipinas that are married that their husbands are like, she is no longer Filipino.
Right.
She's adopted the American woman ways and mentality.
Right. Yeah.
And some do, some don't. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, what's up, Ken?
Hey, there's Ken. Ken, I was talking about you earlier.
All bad stuff. You had to go back and watch.
That's it.
No, it's when I brought my wife to the U.S., she didn't work outside the home there for first few years until I actually got injured, and then she went out and got a job. And that is when she would get talked to by the other co-workers and stuff about, why are you still with this guy? Now he's not making the income he was. Now he's not. Yeah. You can get a better one, this and that and the other. And they're telling my wife that. And she's coming back like, what in the world are these crazy ladies talking about? Like, why wouldn't I stand by you just because you got injured at your job and you're not making the same income anymore, and yeah, that's
right, Ken. It's rough being a celebrity.
Is.
I was referring to you because you've traveled to the Philippines 7 or 8 times, and we were making a reference because we're kind of talking about helping people resource wise. And so I was telling them, that in your case, before you quit your job and went over there and blindly, that you've been there many times.
Right.
You know what you're getting into is where we're going with that. So because what we're looking for, Ken, or tonight we've been talking on this live stream about resources that can help people understand being an expat, whether it's the Philippines or Thailand or any other country in the world, and how to make that transition. Some good advice for that. So, and then of course some of the negative bullshit that's happened in the last 3 or 4 months keeps talking about
jumping out.
Hello to Ken. Ken says, Tim. So that's kind of what we've been doing. It's really interesting, but I just don't know much about them.
Yeah.
Brother K, come on. No More Snow Channel, man. It has been a long time. Where have you been the last year or so? That's one thing I wonder, because we haven't seen you in a while. But so, is your friend living in the Philippines now, or is he in the U.S., or what is he? The one you're going to interview?
He is currently in the U.S. and is, it's fresh. So he just got married, and he's waiting on the right. So he's in the process of all that. So his wife still lives on one of the small islands there, and yeah, we'll really have to listen to his story because I don't know it all, and you know they've talked to my wife before about some of the stuff. You know, hey, what about this? What about that kind of thing? But I don't. Me personally, I don't know the whole story, and so I
That's
think it's
right.
interesting.
Ken and No More Snow are brothers, right? Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ken's got a brother that lives in the
Yeah,
Philippines. So,
yeah. No More Snow and Ken are brothers. That's right.
yeah, there you
That's yippers.
go. Yeah,
Jim is already retired in the Philippines.
yeah,
See, that's good, man. But well, hopefully, and I hate to say this, and we may catch flack for it, but it won't change anything.
mm,
But it would be nice if whatever color American woman would understand why guys don't want to marry American women. It
sure,
would help them. It would benefit them if they would stop and go, I understand. And I'm not picking on anybody or
right,
anything, but instead of bitching and going, look, my vagina is so damn special that you better make 100 grand a year. And I
right,
have 50 babies from other people and I don't work and I'm not gonna work. You
right,
know, your vagina is not that good, lady. You know,
right,
there's thousands, millions others.
right,
Um,
exactly,
and then of course, one thing I talked about in my video a while back about American women is it feels like the men have to be subservient or they have to work for the female. And,
right,
and men don't want to feel that way. You
mm,
know, they just don't. They want to have a partner and they want to be able to
right,
be together and do things together, but not be,
right,
you know.
mm,
So American women have to learn how to be happy with themselves, and then their lives would change.
right. Well, you know, they get so much negative crap that they put up with. You know, they're listening to these other. I mean, listen to their music. I can buy my own flowers.
Hmm.
Can walk in the sand or write my name in the, you know, and this is pushed out to them like you don't need a man. You can be fine without a man. You're a powerful, strong woman. You own all the dice here. You know, without you, they're nothing. And
Right.
which
And,
is
and look, and I agree with all of that, except for without you, they're, the guys are nothing. Women are strong. They can be independent. They don't need a man. I absolutely agree. I have worked with women that I have found totally brilliant and
mm,
impressive all
right,
my life. And
right,
they do not need a man, and a
right,
man does not need a woman. You
right.
should want to be with the person.
Sure, sure.
That's the problem. And you're right. In our society, and I've told people this, in our society, it's become to the point where men don't like to ask women out anymore
Right,
because if a woman says no, then they may say, "Oh, you're sexually harassing me by asking me out."
right,
All I
right,
did was ask you out. I didn't harass you. Well, and then they want to laugh about it and go, "You asked me out. You can believe that? I wouldn't go out
right,
with that scumbag."
right.
And they
You
make a
know,
big deal about it.
he don't have a Mercedes. He don't even drive a. He don't have that 6 digit income. What he can't get with me.
That's right. Ken says, I'm the good looking one and he's the rich one. Well,
Oh, there you go.
I would prefer to be the rich one. So we made it here last February. Been down here and
Tadag, Tadag.
what?
Tandag, Tandag,
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
northeast Mindanao, Tandag,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
northeast Mindanao, close to where my wife's from.
See, I'd have a translator on my live stream. Somebody has to translate.
I'm like that all the time.
Uh,
You know, even though I've been living there so long, I still like I can't even think of the next town over's name sometimes. Like, now how you guys say that? I could see the word and I'm like, now how is this pronounced again?
Yeah, my wife had a good friend from there, that same town.
ah. Well, one thing I give men who are interested in not dating an American is if you're going to go outside the American culture, wherever it is,
Mm-hmm.
um, you gotta change. You gotta stop thinking women are like American women. So
Right.
get that out of your head. It's like, you got to give the women from other countries, other cultures, a fresh start. That's what I mean. You got to kind of clean the slate and open
Right.
your mind.
Wipe away the bad that they put out there.
Yeah, And look, let me just be fair.
Mhm.
I'm picking on American women, but
Sure.
us American men suck too.
Sure.
We're all big pieces of shit. So,
Right.
whatever. We
Right.
suck too, in all fairness.
Well,
And but the difference is this, I think, between this situation that we're talking about with the passport brothers or bros, whatever the hell they're called,
mhm.
is we men are happy if a female finds love and happiness no matter who they are.
Right.
I do. I think there's a difference.
Mhm.
A lot of women get offended because we don't want to marry, an American doesn't want to marry them and we go marry an
Right.
Asian. But
Right.
if a female does it, we're happy for them.
Right.
I think, don't you?
Well, I looked at that too. Why aren't the ladies, if they cannot find a good man there in the U.S., or let's be honest, they're not finding a good man in their little circle.
Correct.
Why don't they go outside of that and look in Asia, look in different places, just like we did, right?
Yes.
So, but it comes down to the income. They're not going to want to marry some dude that is broke.
That's correct.
And I know a bunch of great Filipino guys that would love to have an American woman and come
Mhm.
over to America and whatever, but they were broke as shit, and well, what woman is asking me, hey, can you set me up with one of those Filipino guys?
I agree. We could do it in a heartbeat, right?
Never would they ask, right?
It's I also think it's about perception for them,
Right.
instead of happiness.
Right.
But I agree. And the weird thing is this, and maybe I'm just totally wrong,
Mm.
but I think a lot of American women truly want the man to be subservient to them because that's the new way to be.
Right.
Women have been oppressed for so long. Now it's their turn to make the man the bitch.
Right.
And what they don't understand, though, if they go outside of an American man
Mm.
to, Asian men are pretty docile.
Right.
They're pretty low key. They let the woman kind of drive the bus, so to speak. So they could find what they're looking for. But I agree with you. It's about the money. The other problem we have with this is the same thing. Okay, let me ask this. Is it the same thing? Because we know a lot of the foreigners who go looking for women from a third world country couldn't get that good looking of a woman in America.
Right.
Now, my wife is a 10 and a half. I can't get a 10 and a half American woman.
Right.
Look, which I understand and I get and I don't want. But I wonder if that holds true for the American women, because if you watch 90 Day Fiance, the only women that are marrying foreign men, most of them couldn't get a man in America if they tried.
Right. Yep.
I mean, do you think that's true? Do you think it's valid?
In most cases I've seen, yeah, that seems to be a fair point.
Right.
Works on this. He's a $200 a month rent, bro.
Yeah, that's why you go to Mindanao for that low rent.
That's
I've
it.
did a house or rent tour for one that was about $60 over in the Kitty Paw one.
Yeah.
2-bedroom little apartment for $60 a month. Like, man, nice.
And then what? Yes, ma'am. No. Everybody say hi. It's almost time for us to get off anyway.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
Mabuti.
You're still in Hawaii or in the Philippines?
I'm still in Hawaii right now. Yeah.
Wow.
enjoying this food. I've gained some weight. My wife really doesn't like it, and
Yeah, we've gained weight too.
Hi, Kiko.
Hello.
Hi, Ken.
Yeah, kids in the
I
house.
just sent my wife and 2 daughters to Hawaii just a couple months ago.
yeah,
To
Ken.
they
It's
stayed with
expensive, eh?
my oldest daughter, not my oldest, my second oldest daughter lives and works there in Hawaii.
Oh.
So the wife and 2 youngest daughters went to visit her and stay with her for a couple weeks.
right.
And my Filipino wife loves it there. She'd love to stay there.
Oh yeah, it's just expensive as crap.
Oh yeah,
though.
you just can't afford to live there. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. I've been watching the news where the locals are going, we're taking over our island. We can't live here anymore. And
Right.
Yeah, when I was in the military, I took a week's leave and I spent it there. There's a military hotel right on Waikiki, and
Right.
it just being there, I said I don't know how a poor person would live here. How does a street person survive here?
Right.
And I've heard like maybe their welfare is like probably the highest in the country, but it's got to be to keep up with the cost of living there, right?
Yeah.
But it just amazed me. How would a poor person live here? Because it's just crazy.
I don't know.
All right, guys, it looks like my 2 hours is up. I try to stick to 2 hours. Bill, are you doing a live stream anytime soon? You want to promote it?
Not that I know of. My wife had something planned, but
Okay.
I don't think she's going to do it. At least when we were talking earlier, she's not.
David, do you have that watch handy? Can I see it one more time?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
If it's anywhere.
I do. I'm flipping watches, Bill.
Yeah, I've seen the videos, and
Yeah.
I just didn't. Maybe in the chat or private chat, you can put what your eBay name is. You don't have to say it if you don't want to over there.
I don't mind. I don't know how to.
Yeah, well, that one.
Okay.
You have a different name for. He's got to make the screen
I
bigger.
can't see it.
Hang on, guys. We're having a Filipino crisis. Yeah, no, I like
she's
it.
not going to model it. Come on, what's going on? There you go, with the nails and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nails.
Yeah.
Did you go to a shop to get those done?
No.
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
That's a nice watch. It works great. It's brand
But
new.
I think if I have a gold band that will fit on those, I'll probably swap it to a gold band and use the black band for another watch. But
There you go.
Hold on.
And they're easy to swap. Don't bend it too much. Be gentle.
okay. And it says on the back what size battery, right? If I need to.
Oh, yeah. And I put a new battery in it.
Oh, you did.
One thing I do is I check them and put new batteries in them.
And you can set it for. Let's see. What time are you right now? Set it for 2 hours ahead of what you are right now.
7:37 or 9.
Because I got to turn the clocks up here next. What is it? Saturday night. It's 2:00 Sunday morning. Technically,
Yeah.
we spring forward. Does Hawaii do that?
I don't know.
I don't know if they do daylight savings in Hawaii or not.
Hey, you guys know that this is the last year of that,
Oh,
right?
look at this one. Hold on, one more. Can you do it?
Oh my, they can see it. The camera's on,
See?
sweetie.
There's the brand on the watch.
Seiko? Is it
Wow.
Seiko?
Seiko.
Okay.
Mhm.
Seiko for
Pretty
Kiko.
watch.
I'm trying to put our eBay thing.
Thank you.
Oh, and there's a date on too.
There's a date on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Tim. That's right. The Halikoa Resort. That's the one I stayed at.
Oh, yeah.
Waikiki. And the people right next to you are paying about 5 times what you're paying
Oh yeah,
because it goes by your military rank, the
right.
price you pay to stay there, and it was a very good bargain at the time. That was
Oh, yeah.
30 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can figure out how to share our eBay link.
Or your name, just because everyone has a name, right? Seller's name, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got it right here. See, you're smarter than I am.
Joe's Watches or
Give me a second and I'll pop that in there. And everybody write it down and keep it forever.
D&L merchandise or
So you
something like
you
that.
can buy many watches from me.
Yeah, I used to have a successful eBay store back in the day.
You got any good, what do you call them? What's the expensive watch?
Rolexes.
Rolex knockoffs.
Well, I have a beautiful, beautiful Tissot knockoff that I'm
Oh,
telling
that's
you,
right. I think you showed
yeah,
us last week.
it's a nice, good quality knockoff.
The one that
So
has like 3 separate little dials inside the main
yeah,
dial, right?
I mean it's a sweet watch. And then of course I got a fake Gucci for women, you know. But we let's see if I can do this. Let me see if I can bring this up. Share screen. And let's try this. So right here is the watches I have going on for sale right now.
Yeah,
You guys can see those.
nice.
These are some Invictas. This is a Star, and this is a Pro Diver Invicta. These are all brand new watches. So that's what I've been
Very
doing.
nice.
Well, it just, to be honest, and I have baseball cards, sports cards,
Yeah.
woohoo, that I'm going to put on there, and we have some Gucci or some Coach purses that we're going to put on there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun.
Mhm.
It's a little addictive, so I don't encourage you guys to buy stuff from auctions because,
Right.
man, if you don't get it, I get pissed.
I wish I would have saved all those baseball cards I had as a young boy way
Yeah,
back in the day.
Yeah.
Might be worth something now.
Well, we bought 7 pounds for $20. So my goal is to get my $20 back. But I think I've told some of you guys I got a brother who's really into those, and he has like 300,000 or 400,000 cards,
Sure.
which is just bonkers to me. But that's kind of cool. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing, Bill. I'm kind of
Hey, you got a hustle going on. There's nothing wrong with that.
well, but it's really not about making money. So here's a beautiful woman Seiko that I'm putting a new band on. It's just this is a high quality piece. Sorry, this is a Citizen, not a Seiko. So it just gives me something to do.
Sure.
I get bored. So besides making YouTube videos, it kind of
Right. There
and
you go. So is there a way to cross them though, where it's your eBay and your YouTube is together? You're getting people from that's looking at your eBay stuff to come over to your channel. I'm just
I don't
wondering,
know.
I always look for like cross. I want all my stuff to kind of blend, right, from my Facebook to everything.
Right, because I know we did that with LinkedIn. Our LinkedIn account is our YouTube stuff.
Right.
We changed my LinkedIn that had all of my contacts for 5,000 years at teaching with the government and everything into the Philippine American couple.
Sure.
So I don't know, Bill, but that's a good question. There may be a way that I can go in there and at least tag it.
Right.
In my description or my bio or something like that, know.
And if you do a little video on each product that you're selling, as a short, you pop up that link on there, and they're going to your YouTube channel. And
I tried it on Amazon, and Amazon got pissed off.
Oh yeah.
Amazon didn't like me pimping my channel.
Yeah.
Abandoned me for a month.
Right.
They took me off for a month.
Yeah.
So Amazon didn't like the cross promotional stuff.
Right.
And
Or even I don't know how stuck on your name is, but you might look at changing it over to Pack. Pack whatever.
yeah,
That way, kind of is all together.
we've looked at that, and I use that kind of like as a nickname and a tagline sometimes.
Right.
I do. I kind of, and I encourage people calling us that, so that's okay.
Right.
And all of that. So I kind of use that, but I think since there's so many Phil Am channels
Right.
that now, I have mine. Mine's actually dedicated as the Philippine American couple.
Right. Right. I see that.
Sorry, you're no longer a Philippine American couple. You're not the best. I'm the best.
Right.
Kind of knock.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, if we would have thrown the word adventure in there, there'd be more people watching.
Sure.
It shows action. It's an
Mhm.
action word, but
Right.
I don't know. It just,
Well, I'm down to watch you cooking with no bra on. If you
with just an apron.
no
Well,
bra,
look,
no
we're
bra.
having a big party for Lorelei this weekend. Everybody's welcome. We
No
are,
guarantee what that'll do to your appetite, though, right?
yeah, that's right. it may let everybody go on a diet.
Right.
Oh my God. But I'm actually going to be cooking pork lechon again this weekend. We're
Very
cooking,
good.
That's an idea, David. Make it David's diet cooking.
but I'm not
You'll
good.
make everybody lose their appetite.
There you go.
You won't want to eat. Lose weight.
And
Scotty B.
the bad thing is I actually just don't like the food eating. I hate it when people eat food on camera. Hey,
Right.
Scotty B, man, we appreciate you. How are you? What do they call those? Mukbang challenges?
Yeah.
I hate watching people put food in their mouths.
Right.
Gross.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
I think it is. I think it's just,
Right.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't like it. But heard you talking, David. Check out the Restream. Okay. I think you're going to check out the restroom. Well, all right. Well, whatever works for you, Scotty. But so, yeah, we're having a big event this weekend and cooking all kinds of food. Probably be cooking for 2 days. And I get my new glasses tomorrow. So next time you guys will see me with my new glasses. So that'll be kind of good. And because I did a video about glasses.
Right.
And I'm going to make another video about glasses, comparing online versus in person, like what are that vision starting up to.
Did you order some online as well?
Yes,
Hmm.
I did. And it's the exact same ones. I looked at the exact same ones, compared it identically.
Right.
But what I did, Bill, instead of ordering two the exact same, after I kind of did all of that,
Right. Right.
I went ahead and ordered a different pair.
Sure. Sure.
I didn't want two of the same.
Right.
But for comparison, I did that, yes.
Right.
And it was about $300 cheaper. Well, $268 cheaper, I
Whoa.
think, online
Right.
for the exact same.
Right.
Exact same.
You know, my problem with glasses is my head is so big that, I mean, I go into the eyeglass place and I'm looking around. I might have like 4 choices in the whole store, and it's and then of those, some of them look crazy on you and that kind of thing. So
If you look online, like at Warby or glasses.com, which is one I used,
Uh-huh.
they actually have where you can buy the different widths.
Right.
So you can select, narrow, medium, wide, extra wide.
Yeah, I need like watermelon.
Yeah, and they actually work. And then the weird thing is because you can put your face up here, turn the camera on, and try them on, and you can try. You can
Right. Right.
narrow,
Look like
wide. It actually changes
right. Right.
your
That's good.
face.
Yeah.
I mean, the technology is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Scotty, how's everybody? He's asking. Everybody is doing great, Scotty. We've had a good time. I encourage you to watch the rerun, I guess.
Mhm.
We were talking about the Philippines and traveling. He's allergic to nickel. So you don't get any nickels, huh?
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, anybody else have any thoughts? Anything you want to plug? News coming up. So if not, we will see everybody again Tuesday night, 5:30 next week.
Okay, David, check your mail for the surprise.
I will, and I will get this in the mail tomorrow. I will.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't. You got to have the address first, so you need to check
That's
the mail
right.
to get it. So.
Okay. I got a box all ready to go. So you're
All right.
All right, guys.
Thanks. Have a
Take
good
care.
week.
See you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bye
Nice to
for
meet
now.
you. Take care.
You too, bro.